Thank you, Tom. Morning, everyone. I would like to call the meeting to order and extend an invitation to rise and join in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, welcome everybody. The agenda for today's meeting has been posted, but I would like to make you aware that there will be one revision to the agenda. We have added an assessor's report. So with that, we also will update you with information from UW Extension, but we do not have Amy or Shelby, thank you. Shelby here for a report this morning. So, but we will provide that. Those would be the only two changes that I see.
Those amendments are admins since it was posted. So there's also Tom is here about the fireworks, and we're having a executive session.
Okay, so those would be the revisions and the changes to the agenda. Any others, Mary?
No.
Commissioner Walsh, anything we need to discuss further about the agenda for today's meeting? Then I would entertain a motion to accept the revised edition or the revised agenda for today's meeting.
So moved.
It has been moved. I will second that we accept the revised agenda for today's meeting. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries on the agenda. Revised agenda is adopted. Mary has provided the minutes from the previous meeting, and I have had a chance to look through them. Didn't have any questions or concerns. Commissioner Walsh, any questions?
No question.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Been moved, and I will second to accept the minutes from the previous meeting. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So hard to wait for opposition, and both Commissioner Walsh and I vote in favor of, because our silent third commissioner is obviously not with us today. So Commissioner Burkhart out of town today, so it will just be Commissioner Walsh and I getting you through the meeting today. A couple of things before we get into the agenda. Hard to believe that we have already hit the second meeting of the month of June, and because of the timing of our meetings, we will not be back together until after the 4th of July. Our next regular, the first monthly meeting for the month of July will be July 7th. Obviously, that will take us past 4th of July celebration. So an opportunity to remind everybody that special year for to celebrate this year with the quincentennial, our country's quincentennial celebration. Just a little bit to keep in mind, and I think that Tom's going to talk further about this as part of the agenda this morning, but I guess celebrate responsibly. Remember your neighbors. It is a time of year when I know that people want to enjoy maybe a few fireworks and different things like that. Obviously, with the addition of the special celebration this year, I think that's probably even more so the case, but everybody be safe. I think that's the biggest thing. If you're traveling, take care of one another, and we hope that everybody enjoys that. And again, we will be back together for our first regular monthly meeting on the 7th of July. So that is really all that I wanted to touch on from my chairman's position. Commissioner Walsh, anything you want to add to start the meeting today?
No, I was going to say the exact same thing you just did. So you covered everything I was going to say. So we'll just keep on moving through here.
Got him. Commissioner Walsh has become very vocal. Added some great comments. So had to beat him to the punch today.
I know.
Yeah.
It is. But the quincentennial thing, I was even practicing that last time. Making sure I said it properly.
Yeah. It happened, but I would just say 250.
Exactly.
Okay. We are ready to roll into our department reports, but I don't see anybody here representing the sheriff's department. So Nor do I see anybody here representing the treasurer's office. So this is going well.
By the way,
Yeah. Two down. Mary, anything you can shed as far as like the free or?
I do have the earnings report, for the month of May for the sheriff's office. It was $1,625. And the commissary earnings was $1,509.35.
Hope that there isn't something monumental going on, because they're usually pretty good about having either one or both of them present. Kind of makes me wonder if people believe that since Commissioner Burkhardt wasn't here, they're not coming either.
exactly. 3 day off. huh?
Yeah.
$1,600.
Just when you go out. Out today, they lost me.
I think they put that, I mean. Hopefully, that there is a spot to sign it.
Well, hi there. Okay, how are you? Good. What's the spot on that thing? Got it.
You are. Full cart sales are now. Need the numbers up.
Who's that? Start a friends and neighbors program.
Right.
Okay. So again, we will enter those amounts into the minutes. Given the fact that that's all we have on the sheriff's department, I would entertain a motion to approve the sheriff's report.
Motion to approve sheriff's report, their earnings report, their commissary report.
It's been moved, and I will second to accept the sheriff's report, including the earnings report and the commissary report. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Letitia, you're right on time.
Well, I was trying to plug in some numbers, kind of, because with the system, we're still not having everything in QuickBooks and Pro together, so we're still working on it. Mary,
So this is our QuickBooks.
this is a QuickBooks.
Okay.
Okay. So I kind of plugged in some of the numbers from Mary's totals that she gives me for warrants and payroll. I don't have any expenses in the grants. So I don't even have a grant amount in there. Because I don't know what's being spent out of those grants right now. I don't have any expenses. The only expenses I have in there are through February, I believe. So we're still trying to set up everything. Mary, Candace and I, Bonnie worked on it yesterday. Candace and I worked on it on Friday. We're still doing setup of all the accounts. We've gotten in there and found out it's kind of a mess. There's liability accounts in there that are in there 3 times that have 3 different totals. So it's gonna be a process still, I think, to set it up and have hopefully. They want us to go live again July 1st, but hopefully we have everything set up. We have a lot of meetings with them. Nothing on site until I think it's July or August. I think it's the middle of July when someone will actually be here. We're doing what we can. I mean, I looked back and with our spendable cash for the end of May, it's at 5.2 million. After this report, and that's about what it was last year. I mean, so comparable to what it was around the same time. I've had to transfer money for bills this month because it's our slow month. I mean, that's nothing different. We don't get taxes because everything's gone through, and we'll have our tax sale next month. We had about 191 parcels that are being advertised tomorrow. And that was like at 161,000 that we're still trying to collect on those taxes. But I mean, we're paying the bills and we're not in the red, so at least we know that. But just trying to get all this set up is ridiculous, I think. They sold us a program, a software program that we have to set up ourselves is kind of crazy to me, but I've already told you how I felt about it.
Is there anything that can be done as far as possibly bringing Trenda in to help with or to I mean, I don't really know for sure what the options are, but as this continues to be what I consider a pretty serious issue and being too far into it to be able to turn around and go back.
I agree. And Trenda's been coming in. She helps when she can.
Mhm.
I mean, she's came in and showed us what accounts needed to be changed.
Mhm.
She told Bonnie and I know she comes and helps Mary with some of her payroll stuff. It's just getting, I think if they were here and honestly saw what we were doing with QuickBooks and what we needed to do in their system, they would understand. But it's being done all online. And so we get one person here, we get another person tomorrow, we get a different person the next day. And it's just, it's constant. One person knows what's going on, the other one doesn't know. Let me read the notes, let me see what's going on. I don't know anything about that, let me find out. It's constant.
Tom, where are we at with the request to have had on-site training and putting somebody here with us and
So I think it's so far down the road because people who have had this program for years, they will still hire these consultants in the going to the new year time. And I was told that some of them even schedule it for the next year when they're doing the year they're on. Because so all of their help are doing changeovers to the new year for even companies that have been in the program for a long time.
But their version is different than our version, so they know what they're doing, I'm not part of it.
that's what I continue to be puzzled with the whole thing. And I'm not going to go too far down that road right now. We sense your frustration. We understand. I appreciate that we have something that we can look at today.
And I mean, I apologize for that, but I don't want to give you a report that I don't know that's not accurate. That shows that I'm not doing my job, I feel, which I'm trying to do it, but with this program, it is frustrating. It is very, very frustrating. we were sold something that isn't giving us what we need. I mean, it was supposed to flip of a switch and it hasn't been that since a year, August, will be a year in August.
I think the puzzling or another puzzling part of it is how they have been able to implement it in the clerk's office. I know it's different, it's apples to oranges. And so I would hope that anybody that is watching this situation understands that we're not continuing to try and shove this down anybody's throat with it not having benefit at some point to us, because I think that Mary in her office would argue that there are benefits to it, that they have been able to make it work in their office. And it is obviously, and to me, this is the part, the problem with the program, it's the problem with Tyler, that they sold us something that works for the gas engine that isn't working for the diesel. And the two things are not crossing over. And so that's my frustration with it right now. And I would really like to say that I've got a solution to it. I don't. Because I'm still not at the point, and I'm not going to speak for my fellow commissioners. But given the investment into that program, I'm not ready to say, kick it to the curb and go back to what works for you.
There's no way we can.
So we're stuck. We're in limbo.
I personally think that on-site is gonna be the only way to get it.
That's what I mentioned.
Yeah, I think we're at that particular point in juncture. This works for multiple other agencies. They're able to get it, but most of them have are going to the Munis system, which was more government. The people that are going to ERP are having some difficulties, not as bad as ours. But when she says that she has somebody different that has to basically almost start over every single time, that is no joke. This company has been around for a long time. You would think they'd have a better track record, but at the same time, they've had a lot of turnover based off of promises that were made that weren't fulfilled. And we're at a point in juncture where on-site is probably the only way they're going to be able to walk things across 100% and then build the program the way they're supposed to, which is to match what we have, which is what we were promised by the salesman that first originally came here. And they can do that. The problem is that post-COVID, they don't want to travel anymore. So I think it's quite clear to them that they have to at this point. I think fitting the schedule in, I think it's gonna, unfortunately, I think it's gonna push past July. Well, it's gonna push past July, there's no doubt. But it's gonna become difficult for both offices because you got elections going on, sales going on, different things. So it's gonna, when their people come free, it's gonna be in our busy season, basically. So it's gonna be them sending people. They're gonna have to, and they've agreed to it. And I think Mary's already sent the paperwork back for them to do that. So right now we're just waiting for their scheduling dates. But I think that's the only way that's the easiest way for us to make this happen. They've crossed too many beams in the background by letting too many hands in the pot while they were trying to build out the program on their end, that it's created a mess that they've had to untie, and now they're ready to start building it back. But again, the investment that we've put into it's been pretty substantial at this point.
Part of our attempt to help with the situation, to alleviate the problem, was to allow a half a day on Wednesdays that would be dedicated to that training and close the clerk's and the treasurer's office so that you can do that. Am I understanding correctly that if it requires on-site training, until we get Tyler here on site, that having those two offices closed during that time is probably no longer a benefit?
No, it is because Candace has been putting stuff in from Pro into QuickBooks. All the expenses that need to be from Pro that they've written checks for. Those need to go into QuickBooks to have a picture of what's being spent. And Candace has been doing that.
So,
We try to work on the account setup that we need to have done on our side.
so basically, if you look at it, we're having to run two parallel programs. And both need to be up to date. That's what we have to keep them both up to date, so Candace in her office is using that time to catch up QuickBooks because they quit doing QuickBooks. Where Letitia's crosswalking her accounts.
But we've also
So-
been doing it on time that in the afternoons. when
Yeah.
we make time.
Mhm.
And on Friday, it was with another Tyler consultant that Candace and I spent all day on.
My only point with that comment is there needs to be an end date to it. I don't think we can continue to have that be an indefinite situation. Not putting that on your two offices, I'm putting that on Tyler. And if we don't hold them to something, they need to understand that we are giving up a part of our weekly business schedule so that we can try and fix the problems that they have created. I got an idea of the next constituent that comes in from the southern part of the county to do business in the courthouse that can't get it done isn't calling Tyler.
No.
I'll give them their number, but I don't think that's who they're gonna wanna go after. It's not fair to anybody involved. And we all know where the buck's stopping. So I don't throw that out as a threat. I'm just saying, I feel like we need to be able to have some idea when that's situation.
Done a long time ago. Like I said, it's gonna be a year next month that we started all this. Or in August.
Commissioner Walsh, I know you got a lot to say on this.
I do. Been patient.
I know,
Now, the one concern I have, and this is my biggest concern about this, is there's been a double entry put in from QuickBooks to Tyler every single month.
Try. I mean, it's,
But you have to,
yes,
because if not, your QuickBooks would be off, all this stuff would be off, right? Why don't we have decent reports from QuickBooks? There
because
should
not
be no
other stuff,
excuse
because
for
not
not
all their
having-
stuff is in QuickBooks.
We
Their
just- you just said
expenses-
that we.
Their expenses are not in QuickBooks, so
That she
I,
went and got you all up to date, and so, but all those expenses are in Tyler, aren't they?
They are, I
And can you
mean,
look
and
at your Tyler reports and put those in QuickBooks?
I don't know how they do their expenses.
when we give you the amount of money that our warrants are. for
That's
the
what I
month,
put in here today,
So then you can put them in that spreadsheet. Can you?
in what spreadsheet this
Or
one.
yes,
I
like,
put in what you had for expenses, what I transferred from Penn General account into
Okay.
the Warren account is what I put in here today.
yes, so those numbers, that's.
But
where-
they have to do each one separately into QuickBooks. This is just into this spreadsheet. This isn't a QuickBooks report. This is just a spreadsheet. The reports themselves don't have all the expenses because they haven't put them in. They've only gone through February. Cause they write checks out of Pro
So
and those
she-
are the expenses.
She would have to take the numbers, which are there,
Okay.
and put them in that spreadsheet, yeah.
Perfect, so now for that,
Yes,
so we can still have complete reports.
not from QuickBooks.
Sure.
Not from QuickBooks because her checks aren't written out of QuickBooks, so they have to manually put each one in there.
Exactly.
And that's Mary's business, that's not my side.
But you're still making reports out of Tyler, all that information's there.
Yeah, so a number can be put into.
Which I
that.
did.
Exactly.
That's what you do.
Exactly,
Yeah,
you nailed it.
right.
Okay,
But we can still have complete reports and we have not had complete reports. That's what we need. Especially
I know
right
that.
now, it's
I know.
very important.
I'm not arguing with you, I know that that's what we need, we've needed that from January 1st. When we went live January 1st, it should have all been ready, set up and ready to go, and it was not. Everything was going into the wrong accounts.
Yes, and I
We don't-
understand, and I get the integration issues, and I understand that. But we're still using QuickBooks, we're still on the QuickBooks side of it, and you know QuickBooks,
I'm using QuickBooks mostly,
absolutely.
yes,
And again,
for the revenue part of it, the income.
we could still enter all that stuff in from Tyler that they're using on their side for the QuickBooks side and get reports.
When they have time to enter it, yes.
They're on date.
No, they're not, they're only through February.
He's just talking about that one piece of paper. He's talking about taking a report out of Tyler and putting the number.
Into QuickBooks, he's talking about putting it into QuickBooks.
Oh, well, we are.
No, not you putting in QuickBooks, she can't,
No, I can't.
why can't you?
I can't put her expenses into QuickBooks. Her expenses come from checks that she writes out of her office. I don't do that. She does. She writes checks out of QuickBooks. Those pay for the expenses out of whatever grants, whatever bills, whatever utilities.
Yeah.
Those are considered expenses.
Exactly,
She writes those checks. I don't.
okay,
I
Yeah.
don't put that amount into. Okay, so I
understand
can't do that.
I know,
Okay,
I'm not saying you need to enter that stuff, but I'm saying, you're saying that she doesn't have her stuff up to date, so you can't get your stuff up to date. Why don't you have your stuff up to date?
Well, Candace has all the warrants in up to, like, I think February.
In Tyler, she has everything up to date,
It's up to date in Tyler,
absolutely,
and we are,
so those,
re-entering everything in QuickBooks.
exactly, so we can transfer over to the treasurer, I get it. I understand, so why can't we use the numbers from Tyler?
I'm saying that a spreadsheet where you put a total of warrants for the month that came out of ERP can go onto that spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be a report
Exactly,
that
but
is.
you can still,
Yeah,
exactly,
that's,
that's what we're after,
okay.
but that's what we
I've got
need.
here. That's
Some
what
of
I've
it.
got here. I don't have all the grant expenses in here. I have the payroll and I have the.
And we hope that our cash is correct.
The income is right. All the
Okay.
income is right because that's what I do. So we balance our checkbooks and our bank statements every month and all the income is right. So everything, that 16 million at the very top, that is
Yeah.
all right. That's
Yeah.
all checked. That's fine. The only thing I don't have are her grant expenses. That's all, the only thing I don't have in here.
When do you have? You're doing, you're closing Wednesday mornings?
yes.
I would like to sit down with the two of you tomorrow morning. 8 o'clock. You would like to be there?
I probably better not.
Okay. And we'll continue to visit about it at that point. I think that we have an understanding. Obviously, Commissioner Walsh has requested some different things. I think we're all on the same page. I think that trying to get to that resolve and to get to that point is the end goal for everybody. So we can visit in the morning.
Okay.
Anything else that you want to cover on it?
So, that's real.
Okay. Letitia, anything else?
No.
Okay. All right, then I would entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented here today.
I'll make a motion to accept the retreat report.
Second that. Been moved and seconded to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Letitia, and I'll see you in the morning.
Okay.
Mary,
Oh, me, okay. I have the mid-month vouchers, let me see. Sure, you guys approved beginning vouchers. And our office has been extremely busy. Last night, the last person left sometime after 7 o'clock last night. This morning. we are kind of overwhelmed right now with elections and bookkeeping and titles coming from, I don't know, lots of people are buying vehicles right now and I don't know, if as technology grows, that requires more people to operate, it's supposed to take the load off, but. It's kind of stressful over this all. The
These are the ones
election,
that Candace had sent to us for.
the election, we have to have our ballots all coded and approved by Friday. That information has to go to the SNS, and they're going to program our test deck so that we can start testing machines.
One other thing that you get to make your concern right now, which thank you for you in your office for what you're doing with that. Election integrity, right?
Yes.
How much is that, Mary? What's it gonna cost to get that stuff tested?
To get what?
To get your stuff tested?
We have a software contract that, and then that company is the one who we deal with whenever there's an election. We do pay that fee every year. And it's like $26,000 a year.
Yeah, I don't understand that contract thing, but that's all it is just a contract.
No, but we have
Oh,
extra charges for different things that. you want to do. There are some counties that are lucky enough to only have like 4 polling places, and so they can have a lot less equipment.
no.
Like Platte County.
Mary, could you explain, about people that have signed up for, elections, where they can get their information and what the difference between a state candidate and a, county candidate?
Yes. So there's state and federal races in the election, and then there is county races and precinct committee people. And the Secretary of State has the voter registration program that all of the counties use. And so lists can be applied for and gotten through the Secretary of State's office for all of the races. We were going to do county races, but we have changed that, and so all voter registry lists will need to be got from the Secretary of State,
Thank you.
and there's a fee for that.
Anything else, Mary?
We daily are getting, well, not daily, but yesterday we got a report that somebody withdrew from the Secretary of State's race. And so that affects, some of the counties have already ordered their ballots, and so rather than do that again, then they have to just post everywhere that that person has withdrawn, but they're still gonna appear on the ballot. We haven't done that yet, so luckily we could just take that name off, but if anybody does that after we've sent off our ballots, then we have to do the same.
Can I ask who was there?
It was a name that I didn't recognize. It's a long, I could look it up.
It was short then.
It was not short.
Short.
Nope, he's still,
Very tall guy, very short.
and it wasn't, Williams. I didn't recognize the name when I saw the list.
Not important. I was just curious more than anything. Commissioner Walsh, anything else
No,
for
I
you?
have no further questions.
Okay, Mary, anything else you want to add?
No,
I would entertain a motion to accept the clerk's report.
I'll make a motion to accept the clerk's report and the updated warrant report.
It's been moved, and I will second to accept the clerk's report, including the updated warrant report. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mary. Tom. I'm gonna slide you in on the agenda here to visit about fireworks on the 4th of July coming up.
Well, I mean, officially to hand you guys, because we still have time between these decisions that need to be changed or anything. However, across the state, for the most part, most fire wardens are doing the same thing that I'm gonna recommend today. Except for a few that have like, you know, Natrona County, Laramie County. Ones that have, other paid departments or much bigger, fire departments. Under the fire ban code, for Wyoming. Our fire ban only actually applies to county lands or any lands that aren't considered, incorporated or a town, city type of land. So LaGrange, Yoder, Lingle, and Fort Laramie, as well as the city of Torrington. The fire bans don't actually apply to lands within those incorporated areas. Those are for the city or the town to adopt themselves. So absent what most people or those several counties that have the larger fire departments are doing, we are, and absent the fact that we've gotten a little bit of moisture, but not nearly enough moisture to bring us out of a drought. We're moving back a little bit. We went from a D3 to a D2 for the majority of the county. The southern part of the county is still looking at a D3. However, we're also looking at red flag again today. And possibly through the end of next week. There could be pretty much every day that there's no moisture coming in. We're looking at a possibility of red flag conditions. With extremely low relative humidity and some wind. There is a slight chance of a few days that there may be a little bit of moisture, but they're gonna be scattered. It's nothing that's gonna be drenching enough to give us any type of moisture profile. Therefore, I'm gonna make the suggestion that we keep our fire ban in place for the county. And allow the, like, Fort Laramie's got their, not Laramie, but. Fort's gonna have their fireworks show still, cause they're federal land. You also got LaGrange still have their fireworks show. And things of that sort. So that's my recommendation, is that we keep that in place. If we end up in a situation where we do get a lot of moisture profile between now and then maybe that's a situation we can call a quick meeting for and lift, being it's the 250th and the 4th of July. But as of right now, I think that's our best bet, is to err on the side of safety. I know that being an emergency manager too, I'm always thinking the what ifs and the worst ofs. But my thought is, and my opinion is that we stick with the fire ban for the county lands, anything that's not incorporated. Let the city of Torrington, Fort Laramie, Lingle, Yoder, and LaGrange still have their fireworks if they want to, because we can't control that. Let them outline their own areas where fireworks are acceptable, and then we just move from there. Hopefully we get some moisture, but it doesn't look good, so.
I think we can look at what's going on, you know, up north and the Harrison Crawford, Fort Robb area up there, and I, I think that, we would all love to be able to do whatever we want to in terms of, campfires and cookouts and fireworks and everything that comes with the 4th of July, and especially this year. But, it's pretty scary to think how thin our resources are already spread when it comes to, what we have available as far as our firefighting efforts and different things. And to do anything to jeopardize that any further, I would agree with you that leaving that fire ban in place for the time being, unless something changes drastically, I think is probably very prudent on our part.
That's where I agree.
You know, it was nice that we got some rain, it was needed, it increased the fuel load. Which makes it a rougher situation for us. A lot harder to put fires out when you got an increased fuel load, so.
Yeah, we recently had fire, I think about 1,400 acres. I think we said it's like 1,326 or so, but it was around 1,400 acres down south of the Grange area. Right there at the county line. That fire grew to almost a mile long within about 30 minutes. We had straight line winds, luckily nothing shifted on us too much. And we had firefighters from 2 counties there. So that's what kept that one from continuing into Nebraska. Nebraska was already mobilizing units on their side because it was moving so fast. So I think it's one of those situations where I think that something gets out of hand, it's gonna get out of hand quick. So I think our fuel load and our moisture profile is just too low. Too high and too low, however you want.
High enough for a minute,
Correct.
just enough to make the perfect storm for a bad situation.
Yep.
So,
I guess it really doesn't require any action on it this morning. The fire ban is in place, and we are not changing that in any way. So I would support that.
And I'll put that out on social media and county webpage and stuff like that, so.
I do like the thought of a possible special meeting that might allow us to change that or to allow leniency over the 4th of July, but for right now, we will continue business as usual.
Correct.
All right. Thank you. Guess this means the Walsh family 4th of July celebration is on hold.
yep.
Catch it after 50 more years. We're good news. Oh no, we actually do. We got the library report. Yeah,
Yeah, that is actually good news.
almost jumped again. Yeah.
Good morning.
Well, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Is this your last report?
That is correct. My last report,
How many years were you on the board?
7 years.
Well, thank you very much for your service and for everything that you've done for the library, and I'm sure that Commissioner Walsh is gonna really wonder what to do in those meetings without you there to kind of keep him straight.
Exactly. That is exactly
My 19-minute
right.
meetings.
Yes. She's always trying to beat her new record,
It's true.
all the time. She's
Not
always looking for
competitive.
PR.
I should have signed up for commissioner.
We've been done.
Yeah,
We'd have been done 4 minutes ago.
Truth. No, I wrote you a little email of my appreciation.
Very nice.
Yes. So today I'm telling you about summer reading, which is very exciting at the library. We have so far read 115,777 minutes as a collective group. That is amazing because we've only been going 3 weeks and we have a goal of 300,000 minutes. So we're going to crush that. I'm pretty confident. We had 382 people registered for summer reading, including 79 adults, 78 teenagers, a whole group of whom come on Wednesdays to our group, which is really fun. And then we have about 150 children attending in person on Wednesdays. It's a very fun, organized chaos. We have had so far our focus this summer has been the 250th. So far we have had Wyoming landmarks. Fort Laramie's Casey Osbeck, who is awesome, came and gave a great presentation. He just connects so well with kids. That was fun. And then we had a flag ceremony. So we had some National Guardsmen come and show the children how to properly handle a flag and its importance. And then this week we have US presidents, the first 5 presidents, their pets and their favorite foods. So far, our children and our humans have earned 2,526 badges. And if you want some special fun, Thursday at 10 a.m. we have Splish Splash Story Time at the baby pool. We're bringing.
Expect Commissioner Wallace to help.
I've
Yeah.
played enough of the novels throughout the summer that I do not have no splish splash in any.
Yeah, that's not my focus either, but there are people who love that. And we're trying to capitalize on that because a lot of families with children are at the pool for swimming lessons. So we're bringing the reading to them on Wednesday mornings. So that's kind of our thought process as well. It's just gonna be fun.
The swimming pool won't allow me there. There's my white legs, they're so white, that if I had shorts on, everybody'd be blinded. Horrible.
You wear a wetsuit.
What was it? I could, the guy walked around in a wetsuit.
That'd be a sight. Call us.
Their cap on.
Absolutely, well, full deal. Ladies, thank you.
Lindsay, put your thanks on.
Thank you.
Yeah, so anyway, yes, this is my last library report. I got 2 more weeks left on my term.
Well, you get to go out during a very fun time and there's always stuff going on over there, but it seems like
Yeah.
the summer has a little different energy. And
It does, and it's just been a super positive experience. Library has been fun.
good. I've got an idea that they will still see you around the library and will enjoy your environment.
Oh, yeah, I'm a frequent flyer. Be part of those 100 jillion minutes of reading. That's my addiction, sure.
I'd go more often if I knew how to read, but maybe it's time to start. Maybe when I'm done as a commissioner.
Maybe you could take up
Take up reading.
take up a little position there at the library. You could read the little kids when you figure that out.
Yeah,
You did that once, I think.
yeah, I did a time or two. Yeah,
I think you read to a lot of little kids.
yeah. Yeah,
Yes, so anyway, that's my report, and thanks.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your service.
Yep.
When's our next meeting?
Today and then.
Today, yeah? You guys have been changing on me every once in a while.
Well, it's been a thing.
I know.
it's always a thing.
So I will be there.
Good, see you.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
Tell
I have to
her.
sign a document for Mary, so I'll be hanging out for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have it right.
Okay, cool.
Commissioner, any questions?
Nope, I have no.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
I would entertain a motion to accept the library.
I'll make a motion to accept the library report.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded to accept the library report. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Debbie. We made a special spot on the agenda for you today.
Well, it was kind of a last minute thing.
Okay,
So I,
come with good news, I'm sure.
oh, yes. So I'm sure you saw my email that I prefaced my report.
Did.
Okay, so last Thursday, as I said in the report, I didn't know for sure if you remembered, I had sent this budget detailing out to the budgeting entities. This was what was sent, just so you refresh your memory, it didn't hang on to that. Anyway, the state board called a Zoom meeting for all the assessors to let us know that they will not be certifying valuations for residential because of the 4% cap. This is the exemption that's been in place for 3 years. They've had, just to kind of, I don't know how much you want to know, but to summarize as much as you can, if you haven't read it on Cowboy Daily or Wyoming Wildfile. Which the Wildfile one was a really informative as far as I was concerned. But anyway, the state boards had issues with this exemption since the onset, just because of what they could see could potentially happen. We also testified against to the legislature about our concerns. They did not pass it anyway. We proceeded to go ahead and apply that exemption, because that's part of our oath to apply statutes, right? Well, anyway, so the state board is not going to certify. What that means is about 42% of the line items, budgets on each one of those lines could potentially be affected. The proposal that they gave us last Thursday was that we would have to resend assessments, that received that 4% cap. And if that happens, taxpayers will see a bit of an increase. We really can't estimate how much, only because the 4% is first applied, then the other exemptions that they had applied for are applied after that. So removal of the 4% will change those other exemptions as well. So anyway, long the story, that kind of forces the line item budget issue. I would have to resend about 5,200 assessment notices, probably in July, if this should come to fruition. We've been told that the governor's office is reviewing, he had asked them to pull back in December or November of last year when they were going to potentially send out an order at that time. He asked them to pull back for political reasons. Well, the whole thing is actually very political, in my opinion. But anyway, and supposedly there is a meeting that's going to happen with the governor tomorrow. So we'll know more at the end of that meeting what his action will be. We've had everything from don't worry about it, he's going to ask them to pull back until next year, to who knows whether or not the state board will be removed. We don't know. And the state board in our Zoom meeting kind of joked and jested that next week we may not have a job. And so we don't know what's going to happen, but I felt like I needed to let you know. Eric was in that Zoom meeting with me, so he could hear it kind of on the onset. The county attorneys statewide had a meeting after our meeting to discuss which direction we should all go. The question, the certification is pretty critical in that you can't approve budgets on anything that is certified. So potentially it could mean the budgets that do get certified to keep things timely would be 42% less than where we were at. However, once we send out new assessments, this is all new water we're treading, because the calendar, the tax calendar is all going to be screwed up. So it will be interesting to see what comes out of the meeting tomorrow. So we all have a little bit more direction of which direction we need to go. Anyway, so that in a nutshell is what I know. What it means to the taxpayers, ultimately, is that 4% would go away. I think in the overall end of things, once the budgeting entities would end up whole, it's just going to be at what point, and then how do they approve valuation so that they can continue with their budgeting. The ironic part is, of course, they don't even start receiving their money until taxes are sent out in September and paid, and so on and so forth. So it's more of a conundrum now as to just how to move forward with that. The thought process is that the assessors would not have, at that point, if the governor says do it, go with it, then it becomes an issue for the courts to determine whether or not the 4% is actually unconstitutional. How quickly that happens, the state board's under the impression that we would have an answer fairly quickly. And I said fairly quickly in terms of the state, courts have their own timetable. And they thought within a month or so that it would be decided. So if that's all true, then us resending notices would be all for naught. And I don't know, there's just a lot of balls in the air at the moment. And if I need to resend, I would need to supplement my budget. And that was the one point that I really needed to make. I'm anticipating those costs would be about another additional $7,500, because that's about what it costs me to mail our notices. A little less than that, or this is a little less than normal, because I won't be sending them to everybody, just the people that got those exemptions. So.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, the property tax numbers is an estimate.
Mhm.
Do you do you? I mean, I foresee that we will at least get what you estimated, but it could be more.
That's true.
So would you advise the commissioners to go ahead with budget planning with that amount that's on the sheet and not cut it by 41%?
In my mind, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think that's where we'll end up. It's just going to take us a little bit of time to get there. And so that's why I was trying to say, once we actually send out tax notices, I think we'll know where we're at. That doesn't help with the budgeting deadlines now.
Yeah, July, what is our deadline to approve?
The second Monday in July.
Yeah, so, and at the best that we're gonna have is an answer from the governor's office at that point to be able to know which direction we're gonna go. There's been a lot of scuttle, and a public announcement has been made that until the governor really says what his actions are going to be, we don't know what our actions will be. There's just a lot of unknowns because this is unprecedented for the state of Wyoming. So it's unprecedented for the state board, it's unprecedented for the association. Who would have even the attorneys they don't know for sure who would have the rights to any appeals if that were to happen. The one thing that it does open up is even the question of, we resend 5,200 assessment notices. The market value will not change. Our market values were set. This is the adjustment to those market values. However, there's some discussion of whether or not taxpayers would have another 30 days to appeal. If they didn't look. And so it's all just up in the air. The fact that the market value isn't changing in our minds, we don't think that it should. But the state board's initial answer to that question was, yeah, I don't think you can stop that. So I don't know what will happen, but it's a conundrum that's gonna get thrown back at us and it's gonna make us look like we are the ones that messed up, but we did not. And it's kind of interesting because we're bound not only by the statutes, but we're also by what the state board's orders are. And if they send this order, which they have not sent the order yet, they said that they would probably be sending it the first of this week. We haven't heard any more. I'm gonna guess they're waiting for the governor's office too, as well. So I don't know. But I wanted you to make sure you're aware. I'm guessing through the commissioners association, they've talked to you
Yes.
guys. Okay.
We
So
were
Jeremiah,
brought up to speed on, Jeremiah has been sending out a lot of emails and in-depth explaining everything that's been going on.
yeah, okay, good. So anyway, that is the crux of it. Then I also am planning on being gone next week for the assessor meetings in July, which I'm sure it's gonna be all a buzz about this. And so we'll be going to that. I did have Linda Keller offered her resignation, so her last day will be the last day of the month. And she was my parking data specialist, so I'll be looking to see how I want to fill those shoes, probably not immediately, because we got a little bit else going on. So anyway, and I do have a new hire that started on the 4th. So it's on rolling. Anyway, any questions?
You will alert us as soon as there's
Yeah.
any resolve or any.
Yeah, and I'm sure Jeremiah will too, because I think he's gonna be a party to that meeting. Because ultimately what ends up happening is in the statutes, you are responsible for setting those. I mean, I work those budgets for you, but you're responsible to set those and sign off and say yes or no or whatever. And so I think that it will become, if it becomes a court case, I think you guys will be the ones that are the appealing party if that has to happen. So
Perfect.
That would be after the 1st of January.
Nope, I don't think so. Hopefully quickly, but
Good.
anyway, so the assessors are trying to kind of move forward with some sort of a game plan, and I'm gonna guess that if we should have to mail notices, we would probably begin that process the 1st of July. To try to get things out and about and done as quickly as we possibly can to not affect the calendar in any other way. Because we have to have our information to the treasurer to collect by the 3rd week of August. So Anyway, it's always fun to do the job and then do it twice. And the people are already so confused with
Well-
exemptions and everything else that's where I really feel it's hard. I put a statement out on our county website about it, but I've really been kind of mum, because I don't see what point is of stirring that pot until we know, hopefully this week, which direction we're gonna have to go.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and hopefully it's no direction at all. You know, in a perfect world for the assessors, the governor would say, you know, I'm not opposed to the order, but it's for next year. That would make life a lot simpler. That's what they were attempting to do last year. They were attempting to put it in place before this year, but the governor asked them to pull back because of session and political issues. And so we're stuck in the middle of the washing machine. It's like, anyway,
Well, then it absolutely should not come back on the counties to have to fix a mess that they have created.
yeah, that's exactly true. And you know, the irony in all of it is not one of those legislators is being called into question. The revenue committee is the one that continually push and they continue to say that they don't think it's unconstitutional. But if you read through the report that the state board put together, it's pretty overwhelming. So,
I mean, not directed just at this issue, but it's a shame that all these unconstitutional things pass and then here we are.
stuck in the courts and having to expend more money to fix blunders that weren't a blunder. But it sure ends up looking like it on our end. So anyway. But I'm sorry to keep telling you bad news, but
Yeah.
that is the news for today. And hopefully tomorrow I will send out an email and we'll have a little bit better idea. But I wanted you to hear from me. If you had any questions, be sure to let me know and I'm happy to already answer.
All right, well, appreciate the update and we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I was worried about the budget line item. It's not huge, but it's huge for my office. So anyway,
Okay.
it's expensive.
Right.
I
Yeah,
got
thank you.
these days.
All right. Very much to approve the assessment report.
I'll make the motion to approve the system report.
It's been moved. I will second that we approve the assessor's report. Those in favor say aye.
All right,
Thank you.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
you can use your Wednesday mornings to get caught up on all this stuff.
We're open. We are open for business. I am not talking,
I couldn't hold back.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Oh, man. I knew that was gonna sting a little bit.
So, I did have an email. We had an email from Amy, in regards to the extension report. She and Shelby are both out of the office. And given the fact that registration for fair opened on Monday, they felt like Sabina needed to be in the office. So that is why we have nobody here with UW Extension. So we will jump over, the extension report and go to the fair report. How are you, Steph?
Good, and you?
Good.
Case they turned it sideways.
This is, same what I got.
Same as I emailed, yes. Pretty basic and standard. We're studying the month of May. Page 1 of the report is the balance sheet, the end of May, and you can see all accounts are in good standing, all accounts have been reconciled, so. Moving on to page 2, the AR summary. You can see my notes there, everybody with the star by their name. It's pretty customary that they take this long to pay, unfortunately, and then the ones with dashes, those are fair sponsorship commitments that I asked them for in actually April, not May. In order to get them in the fair book, etc. So they make the commitment and then their invoice to be paid by June 30th, end of the fiscal year. So that's No, that's why those are in that 31 to 60 day category. I don't have any issues. I'm confident that all of these dollars will be collected. Page 3 is the accounts payable. The only thing that is out of the ordinary is the connecting point, the printing costs, and that's due to, we printed the fair books last month, so the connecting point payable will be high probably this month and next, printing the fair directories, the posters, all the colored things that the other offices need as well, so that increases that cost, and then it goes back down to $50 a month or whatever. So for a couple of months, it's well over $1,000. And then page 4 shows that all accounts are current. All the accounts payable have been paid as of June 10th. There's nothing outstanding there. And then page number 5 is the balance sheet to, it was current as of the 15th. And when I printed the report, and it's after all of the income and payables have been reconciled. Page 6 is the monthly P&L. You can see that we struggle a little bit in May. However, it's traditional for over a decade that May and January are our slowest months. So we look forward to getting into the next quarter where our income is a little more sufficient. But that being said, page 7 is comparison this year to last year. There's a significant, like a $6,000 difference in the income, and that was based on the junior rodeo was larger last year. We had more graduation rentals, more private parties for graduation and auction, etc. So those all contribute to the income differential. And the total in expenses was almost $6,000 less, and that's I attribute that to overtime. And we also don't have the fair director position, so we're not paying that salary as well. So that's the difference there. Page 8 then is the profit and loss, the budget to actual. So it shows you like the very first line, we have collected to date, and this does not include all of the month of June. We're going to end the quarter and the fiscal year in pretty solid shape. We've collected 15,000 more than we estimated we would in income. And that also justifies then the budget amendment. We're not asking for funds, we're just amending the bottom line, and we can do that with income that we already have. So June expenses then, if you look at the total expense, 23,000. If we keep our June expenses under 23,000, which I have no doubt we will end the fiscal year in good shape, pending per the approval of the amendment, which I submitted to you guys as well as Aaron. We're heading into the most expensive quarter of the year, so it's nice to end the fiscal year solid. I would entertain any questions, comments, advice.
Good to see a positive report and that everything is in good standing. I think that it, having sat in its fair board meeting the other night there and just feeling confident that things are headed in a positive direction there. Exciting things, and then as you mentioned, it is about to become a whirlwind and everything picks back up. So good to be able to catch your breath with some good news like this and get ready to move forward.
Nice that we have a positive instead of a asking for money. That's awesome.
No, we try to not ask for money, we have to.
15,000 up.
And I anticipate adding about 10 to that with June, the remainder of June's income. Those cuttings, we just had a 3-day cutting, and those are pretty lucrative. Not just our department, but the the county, the community,
Perfect.
so. That's a plus.
Is the big dog show coming back? Is that?
We had that in April.
Okay.
I was told that it could possibly be the last one as they're having issues with their committee.
Oh.
So I can't really honestly give you an answer because they haven't shared that with me.
Okay.
To date, they have not scheduled for next year, but sometimes it takes them a few months to get their ducks in a row for the next year and get on the AKC's calendar, et cetera, so. I'm unsure.
All right, I have no further questions. Commissioner Walsh? Deputy, thank you. I would entertain a motion to accept the fair report.
Motion to accept the fair report.
It's been moved. I will second to accept the fair report. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Deputy, thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes our departmental reports. Do we need to take a short break or are we good to keep going?
It is 10. Right now, so I think we should keep moving for an hour.
Okay. Michelle, if you're ready, I think we'll go right into our new business, starting with Burns Insurance.
I will follow Stephanie anytime because she gives you good news first.
Yes, exactly.
We're getting pins.
Yeah.
I noticed
I'm
her
getting
last.
a little worn out here. I fiddle with this thing all the time and it's getting so like, I had one blow up on that thing. Great.
So, in attempting to requote the county again this year,
I love that deep sigh.
I'm trying to pick my words.
Impossible.
Municipalities are difficult. When the liability is with the LGLP, it does eliminate some companies because we don't fit their niche. So gratefully, Cincinnati is required or submitted a renewal quote. They did give us two options this year. So as normal, I compared 25 to 26. And then, and nothing really has changed. Increased some values on some buildings. Your buildings and personal property are together. Your election equipment is separate. It is grouped with other equipment, like your road graders or anything else that would be listed separately. The big difference is if you look at the bottom, they did give us the option to stay at the 2% wind hail deductible. So I gave you an idea of just building coverage, what that 2% deductible would look like, assuming all buildings were damaged in a storm. They also gave us the option to move up to a 3% deductible, which I was encouraged by because last year they were really trying to push 5%. But you can see the difference in the estimated cost of your deductible. But the savings is also about $70,000-ish.
I know that on our own personal insurance, the continued rise and what it's doing, and so not at all surprised by the increase in the cost of coverage. You know, the difference on the deductible on the 2 to 3%. I mean, I guess I appreciate the 7,000 in savings, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Worth it.
Do we have enough money to cover the deductible?
Yeah.
I mean.
And this is assuming every building that we insure is hit
Exactly.
Mhm.
with the same storm, which doesn't normally happen.
Yeah. Okay. Just, I'm kind of quickly going over in my head the numbers and everything. I mean, I don't think that, that there are any questions really. I appreciate the side by side comparison to last year. So I think we just need to look this over, take a minute to look at it, make sure that Commissioner Burkhart has a chance to look it over and I would say be ready to make a decision at the first meeting in July.
Now, your policy does renew July 1st. I know, I'm sorry. You can always. I'm gonna double check, but I believe you could, assuming you're gonna make a change
Mhm.
and not stay with the 2%. You could make the minimum payment and then we can amend the policy to go to the 3% if you chose to. Or pay up to that amount.
Okay,
And we would just wait for the paperwork process, which would take up to 30 days. So. I guess just. Let me know what you decide.
thoughts, Commissioner?
I think, I don't know, it'd be nice to have some time to mull this, because there is a significant amount there.
Mhm.
In
Okay,
quoting other. Municipalities, they are trending to 5% wind and hail. And we're seeing that with some of our ag policies or whatever, depending on the company, of course, but
Mhm.
with the larger municipality type commercial policies, we are trending to 5%. That's what we get here. We get wind and hail. And I'm not gonna lie to you, insurance companies don't so much care for Southeast Wyoming.
Yeah, that's very true.
Eastern Colorado, they're in the same boat.
Yeah. And they will flat out tell you that.
Yep.
You live in the wrong area.
Mm-hmm.
Which is understandable with our increase of property values, I mean, it's everywhere.
Mhm.
Everybody's property values have increased so much.
Something we have to, and not so much you guys, we do have to help educate clients on is insurance always looks to rebuild. You know, what is it gonna cost to rebuild?
It makes you whole,
Yes,
doesn't,
yes,
doesn't
it
make
puts
you
you
rich,
back,
it makes you whole,
puts you back using new materials.
tell you in insurance school.
And yes, they do. And of course, going back to COVID, when everything started to increase, that's when we really saw changes. No, it's horrible.
I have a question about so, and I agree with
Mhm.
like, the paying for it is in the next fiscal year, which starts
Yes.
July 1st.
Yes, correct.
So if they were to say, we're gonna go with it, like, before the first,
That's all I need.
okay,
Yep, that's all I need. Is just what you choose to do and
and it would be,
yes.
the invoice that we get would be dated.
it
July
is,
after.
it is after
Okay.
July 1st. Because the company will send that to you directly.
Okay,
So if we review this, study this just a little bit, get back to you, we can have everything in place before the policy
Will be fine.
renews on the 1st of July.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do have one extra for her, so I will leave that in her right now.
Very good.
Thank you.
Anything else, Michelle?
Nope. If you have
Thank
any
you for the
questions, oh,
information.
I did want to touch on, because we had questions about this last year, the roof cosmetic exclusion. Doesn't mean roofs are excluded, it means if, for instance, we have hail and it damage, think of a metal roof, it puts pangs and pock marks in the roof. That's not covered. If it damages the integrity of the roof, causes a leak, hits a seam, then that is.
Okay,
Okay.
We call it medical fix.
makes sense. Be a big deal out of the fairgrounds.
It could be.
It was in 2014.
Yes, it was.
You had to read twice.
Nothing else?
I don't believe so.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you,
Thank
Michelle.
you.
Have a good day.
Mhm.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Budget amendments, ladies first. Steph. Well,
I mean, I have it.
I sent
Yeah,
it, I
yeah.
sent it to Mary.
yeah, I know we have it.
She just requested for the actual fare a $15,000 for unanticipated expenses. And then for the fairgrounds, 10,000 unanticipated income.
The total income and total expense, 25,000. So part was fair, part was fairgrounds. We have the cash flow to cover the amended expense.
Okay.
So it's a number
It's a-
change on a line item,
So watch.
yes.
And then the weed and pest, you want an addition, for income, an additional 235,000 added to your budget as is right now. Is that correct?
Expense. Under cost of gold, under cost of goods sold
Okay,
line item. We need that increase from 375,000 budgeted to 610,000 budgeted. The large increase is due to our cheatgrass program. We had one individual that sprayed over 3,377 acres. And that project alone was $164,000 in herbicides. So that was unexpected. So, but again, cost of goods sold, that's covered by increased revenue from herbicide sales. So it'll be covered by the increased revenue under herbicide sales, plus it will be covered by cash on hand.
So what you're saying is we don't have to find $300,000 to put in.
Absolutely not. I'm just needing to amend the budget, so the department audit is not
Same.
process.
Yeah.
Process.
Okay. Very good. Thank you both for the explanation. I have no questions. Commissioner Wallace, any questions?
I was also confused about that for a second. too.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous, forgot to come up with a cash, but thank goodness, you did explain that well. We understand exactly what you're saying. It's just, at first, you're just a little bit on your edge of your seat going, how much is this gonna cost us? So.
Zero.
Perfect. I like that.
Which in a year like we're having and the concerns with fires and fuel and different things, that cheatgrass program's gotta be a huge help. Taking care of that, so. Okay, all right, I have no questions, go ahead.
Nothing further.
Okay, then is there a motion to approve these two budget amendments?
I'll make a motion that we approve both the budget amendments.
Okay. It's been moved and I will second to approve both budget amendments from the fair and from the weed and pest. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Thank you all. Appreciate you being here. All right, we are to the public comment portion of the agenda. Is there anything that needs to be come before this meeting from a public comment? Hearing none, is there any unfinished business that we need to discuss at this time? Hearing none, we have an executive session scheduled for the purpose of discussion of personnel issues. So if there is no if there are no other items to take care of on the regular agenda, I would entertain a motion that we move into executive session.
Make a motion, we move into executive session.
I will second that. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries and we are now in executive session. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Good.
I'm right.
What was your name?
Ryan.
Ryan?
It's nice to meet you.
Ryan, Mike McAfee.
Yeah, Ryan Walsh, not Justin.
Yeah, I like that. I am going to.
Oh, okay.
The comprehensive at some point.
Nice to meet
What made you take and what made this money go?
Is there a motion to reconvene this meeting of the Goshen County Commissioners?
I'll make motion, we reconvene the meeting.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded that we reconvene the meeting out of executive session. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is back in session. Is there any other business that needs to come before this meeting of the Goshen County Commissioners? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will second it. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting of the Goshen County Commissioners. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries and the meeting is adjourned.